Thanks for coming out and watching the oxymoronic Reddit Professional Show, where I showcase the best and worst of the internet. Here I comment on brilliant and hilarious comment chains regarding dumb shit on the internet for you to enjoy. Make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell button so that you get notifications every time we come up with a new video. Enjoy this week's show. To those of you who earn a good salary in a low-stress job, what do you do? I'm a civilian security guard on an army base in the middle of nowhere surrounded by thousands of square miles of empty desert. I made $60K this year for watching tumbleweeds and jackrabbits. My boss is not a butthole. I think that matters more than the actual job. A lot of truth here. The people you work with make or break the job, at least in my experience. I am a medical radiation technologist. I think my job is one of the least stressful. We don't work long hours like nurses and doctors, and only main priority is to take diagnostic images of patients, but once we're done, they're taken away by porters, so we spend little time on patients. At the end of the day, when we finish our hours, we just head home and relax. I find it a relaxing job. It gets easier the better your skill set, and there's usually people to help you. This is strictly for x-rays, not only CT or MRI, of which is more stressful since you're on a schedule. I kinda like my job. Nuclear medicine tech here, specifically positron emission tomography. Our scans are typically 20 to 30 minutes long. An old colleague of mine would get through half a novel in an average workday. No overtime, weekends, or on call. Only stressful when equipment fails. Operator at a nuke plant. Make up to $180K depending on how much overtime I work. If I don't work OT, I'll make $140K and only work 32 to 48 hours a week. It's shift work, which can take a toll, but it's a union job and we're treated very well. It's low stress in a sense, where if you can pass the monthly exams demonstrating your knowledge of nuclear plant operations, you shouldn't be concerned. But if you're not as book smart as the rest of the crew, you can have some problems passing the initial training you receive and the continuing. So, moral of the story, if you can pass the training, it's very low stress. Heck, if Homer Simpson could do it. Edit textbooks online. Have worked from home for over 15 years. I'm a civil servant, specifically a staff analyst. I deal mainly with contract administration. Seriously, take the tests. I change light bulbs and very minor electrical work for $24 an hour at a VA hospital. Barber for 18 years. I started off in cosmetology school and went back to be a barber. Women's hair is fun for a while, but I love cutting a fresh, sharp fade. I'm a truck driver, home every day. Just listen to music and watch the sunrise. Make about 80K, could make much more if I put in the hours. The worst is having people complain about you existing. Just gotta have a frickin' mentality. I wouldn't recommend truck driving to others though. It is very hard to get a good paying job. I got very lucky and had a home daily company hire me the moment I got my commercial driver's license. Long haul drivers actually make less than home daily drivers, which nobody seems to understand. Sysadmin, if it ain't broke, I don't fix it, especially on a Friday. Summer job? I was a tree planter all through 9 years of school. After a few summers experience, I was making about 16K and spending almost nothing in 2 months. If you can handle the weather and have the right attitude, it was no stress at all. Wake up, eat, put trees in the ground, eat, sleep, repeat. Now that I have a master's and 15 years experience in my real job, I still don't make quite as much as I did back then. Librarian. Best job ever. Green coffee buyer. I decide what coffee our roastery buys. Firefighter. When I say low stress, I mean that when my shift is over, I don't have any looming deadlines or unfinished work waiting for me the next day. When I'm working, there can be moments of pretty high stress. It's not chronic stress though, just bursts of occasional crazy high stress. It's a good wage, not a good salary, but I drive a garbage transfer truck at night. My total package is over $120,000 a year, but it's heavily weighted towards benefits like lifetime retiree medical coverage and pension. On-site, on-call technician, 95% of the time, nothing is going on. When something breaks, it's usually back online in about 20 minutes. Maybe 5 days a year you need to work on something all shift. Rest of the time you monitor the system and find other things to do, like learn how to code and automate the boring part of the job. Deckhand on a tugboat in New York, $385 a day. Next promotion to mate is $580 a day. Captain is $670 a day. We live in the boat and go up and down the East Coast, mostly the Northeast, for 2 weeks. Then we get 2 weeks off of work. Most of the time we eat free food and watch Sat TV. I bring my Xbox and play a couple hours every day using my phone as a hotspot. Literally straight chillin' for 2 weeks with friends. Oh yeah, full benefits. My 401k math $1 for $1 up to 6% starting. My father was a deckhand on a tugboat. He said he decided it was the job for him when he realized every boat had a bunk bed. Retirement actuary, $90K per year plus bonus. 5 years in the industry so far, lots of interesting projects and minimal stress. Just here to say I love these threads. It's always soothing to know I have options in the future if the need be. On the other hand, reading all these easy, well-paying jobs makes me feel even more worthless than I do already because I feel as though I can't even do the simplest ones without issues. I'm a sushi chef. The work I do carries some stress, but the restaurant is completely laid back. Just so everyone knows, the restaurant industry is generally quite stressful, and anyone looking for a low-stress workplace should probably avoid it altogether. Kudos to OP for finding success and avoiding the insanity. I design circuits for avionics guidance systems. If you know what you're doing, it's low stress, and I'm 23 making $75K in the low-cost Midwest. I drive coal trains. I can literally sleep 70% of my shift some nights. I earn $147,000 last year. I sleep train newborns. I work nights and only interact with mom and dad for about 10 to 15 minutes. After that, it's just me and the baby. Love my job. I guess my job is not low stress or high paying to most people, but it checks both boxes for me as a single 24-year-old male. I work rural EMS in Canada. My schedule is 96 hours on, followed by 96 hours off. In other words, I work for 4 straight days and then get 4 days off. I live in a big city, but the town that I work in is 1 hour and 40 minutes away. So my commute is not terrible when you consider that I only need to make the drive once every 4 days. When I am actually at work, I can do whatever I want as long as we don't get a call. My company sets us up with a nice staff house, satellite TV, Wi-Fi, and a decent gym. I spend my days playing video games with my coworkers. There are 4 of us on shift, watching TV and movies, cooking, eating, working out, taking a nap, shooting the crap with my coworkers, etc. If we do get a call, we have 8 minutes to respond. So I can lounge around in my pajamas all day if I want, and if I need to run an errand in town, I can usually get it done without getting more than 8 minutes away from the station. The calls can be kind of crappy, lots of highway accidents and farming accidents, but I find the really crappy ones are few and far between. Most calls are just driving people who don't feel well to the hospital. But I do enjoy the tough calls because they challenge me to make quick decisions and use my skills. In 96 hours, we usually average about 5 to 6 calls. However, I have literally worked 96 hours without a single call on more than one occasion. Regardless, I never take the work home with me. I make around $70,000 per year with good benefits, and there are lots of opportunities to pick up extra shifts, which are paid at double time. Furniture sales. I consider a good salary $100,000 plus per year with no previous education or experience required. In-house graphic designer for a pretty large retail company. We stay busy, but there isn't any of the stress that comes from working at an agency and having to please several different clients or worrying about getting enough work as a freelancer. I ultrasound hearts and vascular systems in a doctor's office for $35 per hour. Super laid back. If you're fast enough, half your time is free time. I manage to trade stocks, read, learn something new, keep extra time filled with something interesting, etc. I am an illustrator, but as senior producer pointed out, low stress does not equal low effort. I am always polishing the craft regardless if I am being paid or not. Reading this makes me frickin' hate everyone in this thread. I teach English in China, 12 hours a week, roughly $2,700 a month, almost all living expenses all paid, 1 return flight a year, 3 months off a year, but I'm paid for 11 months. I know I'll never get rich, but I make way more than I could spend considering the cost of living here. I could easily save $2,000 a month. I have plenty of time to pursue my hobbies. Even my time in the office is very relaxed. My classes are so basic. QA data analysis. I did user acceptance testing for 4 years before switching to a new job. It paid well, it was super low stress, and I hated my life the entire time. It might technically be an easy job, but the endless monotony of it was soul-destroying. Would not recommend. QA QC on electrical and mechanical projects. It is simple. Read the original proposal and the 100% specifications and don't let the subcontractors waver from them. Keep the customer happy by showing them you are all about giving them what they paid for. It has its moments where it can get pretty hectic, but 90% of the time it is laid back and stress-free. I am noticing QA seems to be one of the main jobs on this post. I make the Coca-Cola products that go into the freestyle machines, $60K plus with overtime. We make 1 to 3 batches per shift, and that's just following a recipe. Very little stress as we have few chances to make mistakes. I have a lot of downtime as well. I'm an attorney, civil litigation specifically. The stress is killing me. Or maybe it's the hours. Perhaps it's the debt. I don't know. But I'm here to see what comes up. Seeing these posts always kill me as I aspire to become an attorney. I sit behind a desk and design DIY home theater and automation systems. People send in their floor plans and I put little speaker, TV, etc. images where they should install stuff. And I troubleshoot the systems over the phone too. Easiest dang money I've ever made, and I get paid good. I'm an electronics engineer for an automotive OEM. Pretty interesting and fun. I like solving problems and designing stuff. I'm a PA for a really high-end real estate agent. First few months was stressful, constantly trying to work out how he operates, but now I have it worked out, I get everything done in advance for him and spend most of my day chatting crap with others in the office, drinking coffee, and going on Reddit. I freaking despise working. I've always hated it. I thought I would grow out of it, but at 27, I just seem to dislike it even more. So to find a job that I can be excellent at with minimum effort and stress that pays me well is a freaking dream. I also start early and don't take lunch, so I'm home in good time to my doggo. How? College professor, if you find a field you love, you get to talk about your favorite thing for 15 hours a week, earn the income of a full-time job, and get several months off a year. Quotes because you use that time for grading and prepping stuff for the next semester. And of course, you work longer than 15 hours a week, but what that work consists of varies widely. If community college, it's pretty chill, mostly meetings and waiting for students to see you. Research positions vary in responsibilities. Specialized schools could be chill or more demanding, but there's potential for the majority of your time outside the classroom to be up to you on how you spend it. Put strawberries in 500-gram punnets. I get good pay and limited amount of strawberries. Senior accountant for an oil and gas company. It is kind of a small family-operated company. The president of the company takes very good care of the employees and their families in terms of compensation, bonuses, and benefits. Unlike other larger oil and gas companies that have been hit hard in recent years, this one is still very much in the black. Make no mistake, the actual work is very busy and fast-paced. My career has advanced pretty fast here, going from knowing nothing about oil and gas industry to being one of the 3 most senior accountants here in just a few short years. Always something new to learn and skills to advance. Really, it's not just the career role itself that makes it low stress, but the place you work as well. The respect the company and people here have for each other is a rare find. Everyone loves their job, and the company is always pushing and making good on the ideal that employees are their biggest asset. Both people above and below me are highly talented, respectful, and very easy to work with. I have to work a weekend every once in a while from home just to be sure my duties are done to the best of my ability. However, for the most part, I go in at 8 a.m., leave at 5 p.m., and my job ends there. Very flexible, can work from home or leave early. The trust here that everyone is busting butt is a big part of that. Dream job after years of crap jobs inside and outside the field after graduating college. Got really lucky. Waiter in a high-end steakhouse. It's only stressful for about an hour. All of these are the complete opposite to my job. High stress and low wage. Stay in school, kids. Or don't. Leave the city and find a nice government job in a small town where your house payment is $400 a month and you live like a king off of $50K a year. Production welder. Finish quota in 4 hours. Sit on a pail scrolling through Reddit for another 4. GG easy. I'm a software developer. It's normally low stress, better than site ops who has to respond to site down emergencies and such. I can agree. Software engineer at a good, stable company equals awesome. Software engineer at a startup equals stressful. Friend of mine makes $45,000 a year in marketing. His entire job is making a newspaper, TV, internet ad saying, "Who would like to try a new product?" sitting on his butt for several days waiting. Then when people respond, he sorts them by if they qualify or not. Guys can't test women's deodorant, etc. That is the end of his job. Everything else is done by another group. He has hours of paid free time he uses to code and do side projects. He went to school for 8 years for math to get this job. Data analysis for a local branch of a very large national healthcare provider. Began via a temp agency, then hired on for 1.8 times what I was earning in retail after a decade. If you enjoyed this week's effective way to waste time, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. If you are enjoying the series, leave me a comment below. A special shout out to the content creators. You frickin' rock.